In this video, we'll see how to check out and run the project CSNS2. First, copy the URL of the CSNS2 SVN repository. Note that it's up to CSNS2, not including trunk. Then we go to Eclipse and open the SVN repository exploring perspective, and then add the CSNS2 repository here. So just right click, select new repository location, and copy that repository URL here. If we expand on the repository, we can see that we have branches and the trunk, and we want to check out the project from the trunk. So right click on trunk and select checkout as Maven project and finish. So when you check out the project for the first time, it may take a while to download all the libraries and so on. So look at the progress at the lower right corner of Eclipse, and you can click on that and open up the progress view and make sure that all the background processes are finished before you try to run the project. Okay, now we switch to Java EE perspective, and we can see the project is here. Before we can do anything, we need to configure some parameters. There's a file called build.properties.sample here, so make a copy of this file and place it under the root folder of the project. And the new file name should be build.properties. Make sure that there are no trailing white spaces at the end. And go to this file, click on the build.properties tab, and you'll see the content of this file. This file contains some parameter values for this project, and on different computers those values could be different, so you need to first change some values so that they match your own development environment. Most of those values you can leave them to default, but you do need to change at least a few of them. The first two are the file directory and the log directory. File directory is a folder that will be used to store all the uploaded files to CSNS, and the log directory is a folder where the log file will be stored. So most likely you won't have the folder etemp CSNS2 and so on. So you would want to create a couple of folders first and then specify those folders in this build.properties file. So I'm going to use the folder under C drive temp, and I'm going to create a new folder CSNS2 here, and then files, and then logs. So here I would change the E drive to C drive, and then temp CSNS2 files and logs. Those are correct and matches what I have here. So that's the first thing, the two file folders. And the second thing is the databases. Again, you probably don't have the databases yet, and then you need to change those accordingly. For CSNS2, we use two databases, and usually the first one is called CSNS2, the second one is called CSNS2 test. The second one is used exclusively for unit testing. The first one is for regular development or deployment. So let's look at my local databases. As you can see here, I have some databases already: CYSON, Postgres, template 0, template 1, test 1. I do not have any databases called CSNS2 or CSNS2 test. So we can create those databases. I'll say create database CSNS2. And create database CSNS2 test. And that's it. It just so happens that my username for those databases are CYSON, and the password is ABCD, so I don't need to change this too. And same thing for this. And this is pretty much it. Now we have the file folders, and then we have the databases. And once the parameter values are corrected, do a Maven update project. So just click on the project, select Maven, and then select update project. Okay. After updating the project, as you can see, the error sign, which used to be here, is now gone. There's a warning sign here, which you can simply ignore. But before we can run the project, we have to populate the database first. And to do that, you can use some of the database scripts included in CSNS2. There are three scripts. There are two scripts you need to run. The first one is this one called CSNS-create.sql, and this script will create all the tables, indexes, procedures, triggers, and so on needed by the CSNS2 project. And the second one you need to use is called CSNS-test-insert.sql, and this script will populate the tables with some test data so that we can actually run the project and log in and do something with it. So I'm going to run those two scripts. I'll go to the project folder, which is under CS520 workspace CSNS2, and then I'm going to run the first script, CSNS create, and it will pipe into my CSNS2 database, which was just created. And then I'll run the second one, CSNS test insert. Okay, so now I have my databases populated, and oh, by the way, we only need to populate the CSNS2 database, not the CSNS2 test database. That one is automatically populated and cleaned during unit testing. So now I have my database, and everything seems to be fine. Let's run this project. And if you look at the CSNS test insert script, you can see that we have If you look at this script, you can see that we have created a few test users. In particular, we have created a user called CYSON, a user called Jendo, Pamela, Trisha, and all the users have the password ABCD. So you can log in as any of those users using the same password ABCD. Go to computer science and log in as CYSON ABCD. And it's working. We already actually have two class is pre-created for the user CY_SUM. And if you want to know exactly what data has been pre-created, just read this test insert script carefully. It shows you the users that are pre-created, the privileges the users have, the departments that are created, the courses, the sections, the forums, and so on and so forth. So have fun.